Hello and welcome to Movie Mandates. I'm Kelly,
And I'm Andrew.
and this is the show where brother and I force each other to watch a movie based on a specific monthly theme, and it is December, Artsy Fartsy month. And on the previous episode, we got to watch Brothers pick The Wolf House, but now we conclude the month with my pick, The Green Knight. But before we get to that, of course, since I got to pick this time the movie, it is only fair that brother get to challenge me in a little segment that we call Trivia, Trivial, Trivia.
Yes, and before we proceed, I just must admire your classic Christmas decor. That festive holiday pumpkin and skull you've got back there.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're going to do something a little different with this week's Trivial Trivia. We're going to have a quiz, just a movie trivia. That's all trivial. Quiz, 10 questions. Let's see how
Oh,
many you get right.
four.
Number one. What is Whoopi Goldberg's character's name in Sister Act?
Dolores Claiborne. No, that's a movie. Dolores,
That's a Kathy Bates Stephen King adaptation, I think.
yes.
Now
It's
there are Whoopi Goldberg's character
Sister
has.
Mary Clarence.
I'll take it. Yeah, she actually has three names in the movie. There's her given name, her stage name, and her undercover witness protection name, Sister Mary Clarence. Um, you were actually correct with Dolores. That is the character's name. Do you remember what? I'll give you the point for it, but do you remember what her name is or what her stage name is?
I
I remembered. I I remembered Dolores, and I remembered part of her stage name because one of the nuns at the end of the movie, when they're about to go their separate way, they learn that she's actually Dolores, whatever, and she's like Dolores, blah 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 blah, because that's her stage name.
Dolores Van Cartier.
There you go. Yep, that's what I remembered. So her given name is actually Dolores Wilson, stage name Dolores Van
Oh,
Cartier, and Sister Mary
Sister Mary
Clarence,
Clarence. Okay.
and uh, R.I.P. Maggie Wilson, Maggie Smith rather.
Maggie Smith. Yes.
Everybody's died.
R.I.P.
Yeah,
Everybody.
everyone. James Earl Jones just passed away.
John Amos just
John
passed
Amos just
away.
passed
Chris
away.
Christopherson just
Chris
passed.
Christopherson, Jesus, yeah.
Like this,
Oh,
yeah.
God, it only the older we get, the worse it gets. People just die. Stop dying, people.
Yeah.
You're making them
The,
sad. All right, so I'll give you
all
that
right.
one. Okay. Speak any line or phrase from Chucky's Dumbala chant in the Child's Play movies.
Give me the power, I beg of you.
I'll take it. That is one of the lines or phrases from the Dumbala chant. It begins with "Ade due Dembala." Give
Dembella.
me
Yeah,
the
okay.
power, I beg of you. Unfortunately, it's all like French, so si cos tenem mas foi de mort, mortes malu de facture de me voce, andile por de borse Dumbala. I'm butchering the shit out of that, but um,
Ah.
anyway, name a movie where the title character is a horse.
Name a movie. Oh, War Horse.
I mean, the way I phrased the question, that's correct, but I was going for the title of the movie is also the horse's actual name because the war horse's name is not War Horse.
Oh,
It's like Greg or something, Greg the horse.
Greg the horse.
So
Okay.
I'll catch it. But can you think of a movie where the title is the actual name of the horse?
Seabiscuit.
Seabiscuit. There you go.
Okay.
There's also the Black
The
Stallion,
Blacks.
Black Beauty rather, Flicka. Uh,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron.
Yes, yes.
Um, all right. All right. Three for three so far. Well done. All right. Should have names the Warhorse. It's like, oh, I mean, the way I phrased it, technically, that's correct. Okay. Number four, Elvira
Mistress
made
of
a
the Dark.
feature film in 1988. What was it called?
Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
Yep, there. Yes, it was. Okay. Uh, do you, just as a bonus, do you know the name of her second film that she made in 2001?
Elvira Strikes Again.
Not a bad guess. It's called Elvira's Haunted Hills.
Ah, my second guess is going to be Elvira Comes Again.
Also not a bad, that was probably on the short list. All right. Name a film composer other than John Williams or Danny Elfman.
I'm out. No, I'm joking. Oh, that was it? Name a film
Yeah, name a
composer.
film composer other than John Williams
Oh,
or Danny Elfman.
Howard Shore.
Oh, okay, there you go. Name a movie director who's not a dude.
Catherine Bigelow.
Oop, there's a good one. All right. Any favorite Catherine Bigelow films?
So she did The Hurt Locker, and
I've never seen that one, so.
that's what introduced me to her because
Mhm.
that was like the big like, oh, Catherine Bigelow and Jeremy Renner as well.
Is he in? Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
That was, I think, one of his big old breakout performances.
I think the first I've seen of hers and probably my favorite, I think it's called Near Dark. It's the vampire movie from
Oh
around 90 or
yeah.
somewhat.
Oh gosh,
It's
yeah, I
got Bill
forgot she
Paxton in
did
it.
that. Yes, I forgot she did that.
Henriksen, a bunch of people. It's a fun movie. I really like that one. All right. Name a movie with a prime number in the title.
Okay. 13 Ghosts.
There you go. Can you think of a movie where the title is just a prime number?
7.
Yep. I was gonna say, does she need me to say Fincher?
No, no, no. I
But
was just
13
I was
goes.
like, let me go through the prime
We're like
numbers, my friend.
1,
1 second. Yeah.
3,
3,
5,
5,
7.
7.
Oh, 7, yeah. All right, doing great, doing great.
That's what I did. I
Okay,
was like, let me go through them.
here's one that let's see if you get this one because this one's like super specific and don't know how long it's been since you've seen this. In Richard Donner's 1978 film Superman, what was Lex Luthor's scheme?
In Superman.
Yes.
Did it have to do with money?
Yes.
Was he like embezzling money? No, that was Superman 2. Was that one?
No. No, I wouldn't say embezzling. No. I'm trying to think of a way to argue that it would be embezzling, but no.
So is this the one from Office Space that they always talk about
Oh Jesus,
in
I don't.
Superman when he's like taking pennies off of transactions at the ATMs?
Well, I mean that's what happens in Office Space, but
Is that what happens in Superman?
no.
They okay, then I don't know.
Okay. Um, it's a. Did you see Superman Returns, the 2006 one with Brandon Routh?
Brandon, yes. Do I
Okay.
remember it? No.
Do you remember Lex Luthor's scheme in that one? Because it was pretty similar.
No. Who played Lex Luthor in that one?
Kevin Spacey. It was Gene Hackman and Donner's.
Gene Hackman, I recall. I don't even remember Kevin Spacey in that
Yeah,
movie.
I watched it a while ago and I knew it was Bryan Singer directed, and then Kevin
Oh
Spacey.
yeah.
I went, oh God, this This
This
is
is not
unfortunate.
age well. This is an unfortunate film. My golly. No, I don't remember. I mean, I remember being cringed out by that movie when it happened, and I was like, this is awkward. Like Kate Bosworth, even it, like everything about that movie was an uncomfortable experience, just
Mm,
A to Z. And I was like, I'm out. So
yeah.
no, I'm not. I am definitely not even with hints. Probably gonna get this.
So he his big scheme in the original Superman movie is he buys up a bunch of desert property in California desert and I think parts of
Oh.
Arizona and Nevada. And then he either steals or he like reprograms the nuclear missiles of the American military to fire on the San Andreas Fault to drop part of California into the ocean so that he now owns beachfront property.
Oh my God, I totally remember that. Like I would never, you could have nearly spoon-fed me and I would never have
Mhm.
put those sentences together, but you saying that, I'm like, yeah,
Now,
yeah.
funny enough, Luthor's scheme in Superman Returns, which is ostensibly a follow-up to the Donner films, is almost exactly the same. He creates a giant kryptonite island, which is going to end up like flooding the entire Earth and making it unlivable so that everyone, the very few people who aren't dead, I guess, will have to live on his island and he'll control everything. So it's almost the same damn thing.
Now, the reason I asked about Office Space, because in Office Space, when they talk about their plan of embezzlement, they're
Mhm.
always explaining it, and then they go, like in Superman, and I guess they're saying like in Superman 2.
I don't. I mean, Superman 2 is the one where Zod and crew breaks out of the Phantom Zone and cause problems in Metropolis. I don't
Interesting.
recall any secondary plot about people
Yeah,
skimming money off of
I
anything.
don't know. Maybe I'm
Uh,
misremembering.
yeah.
Does not matter. It does not matter. This is your quiz, my friend.
Okay,
Okay, I'm ready.
number 9.
Ooh, we're at 9.
Vigo, the antagonist of Ghostbusters
Vigo.
2, had many aliases. Name one.
Lord, yes, Vigo. He's not God of Thunder. That's the
Nope.
Lord.
They're almost all Vigo the something.
I can see Peter O'Toole.
McNichol.
That's what I said. Peter
You said,
McNichol.
yep, that's exactly what you said. Is
Um,
Vigo. You are
yes, Vigo
causing
is.
lies to him.
Yes.
Johnny, where the hell are you from? The Upper West Side?
It's I need you to know that everything you are doing is bad. It's so good.
It's like,
I
was
know it.
that in the script or was he just
I everything you are doing is bad. It's so good. It's so good. Vigo the Destructor. No, that's Gozer the Gozerian. Vigo the Impaler. No, that's Vlad.
You're on the
V.
right track. Alternatively, because I wrote two versions of it. So
Okay.
if you can't come up with one of his aliases, name three of the methods used to kill him back in the 17th century when he was actually alive
Yes,
before he, right?
yes.
So the people hated him because he was, it's why he gathered up all these not particularly polite nicknames. And they killed the hell out of him through a bunch of different methods. Name three of them. There's seven or eight, depending on how
Didn't
you
they
count.
set him on fire?
Uh, Oddly enough, that's not one of them.
I would imagine that would just have been a good one. Um, um, I don't know. I'm like I am just blinking. I
Okay,
guess
so pick some methods you think they might have used to kill.
stoning would be good.
Jesus, no. Wow, you're picking every murder method except the
Medieval.
eight that they used to kill him.
Was he like drawn and quartered?
I'll give you two. Yes, he was drawn and quartered.
Um, okay. So, and then one would imagine he was buried.
No, wow. No, how many um how what are some of the ways they tried to kill Rasputin?
They blew up him in a temple.
No, I don't recall that. Holy shit.
What didn't they?
How did they kill
Didn't
Julius
they
Caesar?
with a knife?
Yeah, they stabbed him. Okay, three. You got it. Jesus. Wow. Okay, so poisoned, shot, stabbed,
Oh,
hung, stretched,
poison.
disemboweled, drawn, and quartered.
Oh, sure. Disembowelment. That makes,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a
Shot,
big one.
stabbed, hung, poisoned. She's like, buried alive, burned. I'm like, wow. I
Stoned?
thought that was a give me. You just happened to land on one. It's like, no, I've got a better imagination than that. Okay, so
Let me at him. He
so
needs more.
Vigo is the scourge of Carpathia, the sorrow
Yes, he
of
is.
Moldavia. He was known as Vigo the Carpathian, Vigo the
Feel them.
cruel, Vigo the torturer, Vigo the despised, and Vigo the unholy. And then, of course, Venkman says, wasn't he known as Vigo the Butch? Uh, According to a wiki page, I don't think this is
Yes.
actually in the film, but the character's full name apparently is Vigo von Homburg Deutschendorf.
Deutendorf. Okay. Vigo the Carpath. Yes,
The
yes, yes, yes.
Carpathian,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. Whew.
All
That
right,
was fun.
and
10.
finally, number 10, in the Abrams and Zucker brothers comedy Airplane, Lloyd Bridges' character Steve McCroskey mentions that he picked the wrong week to quit smoking, the wrong week to quit drinking, and two other things. Name one.
Smoking, drinking, screwing,
Good guess, but no.
cursing.
No. Do you remember this joke from the film? You remember Lloyd Bridges like, oh, looks like I picked the
Of
wrong week
course.
to quit smoking, and then later in the film, something happens. It's like, oh, looks like I picked the
Oh,
wrong
it's
week to
one
quit
of
drinking,
those. Yes. Oh,
and it just
yes.
escalates from there. Looks like
Yes.
I picked the wrong week to
Wrong week
quit.
to. Oh, okay. Yes. Now I remember that. Yes, one of those. Like heroin would be like, it's one of those explanations that you're like, geez, Louise. Yes. Um, uh, I don't remember what they are though, but I do remember now the conceit behind it. I was a wee lass when I last saw Airplane. But of course I remember Lloyd Bridges. Are you kidding me?
Mhm.
Funniest man alive. Not alive anymore,
You
but
want to take some guesses, or should I just tell you?
yeah, cocaine.
That's a pretty good guess, but no.
Oh,
The
dang it.
other two were the third one is it looks like I picked the wrong week to quit amphetamines.
Oh,
And the fourth one is I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue.
that's
Yep.
pretty funny.
Yep.
Oh, that's
Seven,
really funny.
7 out of 10. Not too
That's
damn bad.
cool. That's really great. I'm excited. That was awesome. Yay! Um, so I'm gonna let you talk about this movie to begin with, and the reason I'm gonna let you talk about this movie to begin with is because I had an epiphany while watching this movie.
Oh,
Um, so now you saw this movie before, right? Didn't
I
we mention
watched
this?
this movie back in March, I
And you
think,
tried to tell me about it, and I ignored you,
and I tried to
apparently.
tell you
Yeah.
about it, and you
Okay.
ignored me.
And
Uh,
that's why I'm gonna let you
Probably
start.
made the mistake of leaving a voicemail or something like that.
Big
Oh,
mistake,
Andrew
huge.
called. Not going to listen to the message. I'll just call him back, and then you forgot, or
Yeah,
you called me back, and then I forgot to talk about the movie.
because you assumed I listened to your voicemail, you
Yeah.
silly, silly boy. No, here's what I think is very funny, and then I'll let you start.
Mhm.
As I say, I'll let you start, and then I take the lead. So I was watching this movie, right?
Yes.
And loved it. Brilliant. Love it.
Okay.
However,
Mhm.
as I was watching it, like halfway through, I'm like, what did I choose this for? Artsy fartsy. There's nothing artsy fartsy about this movie. Like, what was I thinking? Like,
It's,
am I not understanding? And let me tell you why I say this. The last like
I mean, it's
five
not arts and
movies,
craftsy like mine was, but
let me explain. The last movies I've seen, like the last few movies that I've sat down to watch,
mhm.
have been The Joker,
Okay.
very avant-garde and
The, the
different.
the sequel or
The
the
sequel,
okay, yeah.
um, Beetlejuice,
Okay.
very, very different, artsy
Probably very
fartsy-ish.
visually weird, yeah.
The Wolf House,
Right.
okay. Um, and I now Palm Poco has been very recent as well. But
Yeah,
like
that
and this, I mean, Blockers was in there, but like and then but so like in
Lowry just
very
isn't up to snuff with the artsy
so in
fartsy.
very quick succession, I have watched zero quote unquote normal just this is a movies. Like
Hmm.
there hasn't been anything that hasn't been very oh, and so I'm watching this and I'm just like art like it literally halfway through I'm like oh I did not hit the mark at all and then I was like no this is you're fine you just are in a very interesting groove right now. It's in a very different I'm in an interesting
This
place
is
in
a
my
movie where it um starts out looking at out a window, and then the camera pulls back in through the window, and there's like some water dripping from the ceiling rhythmically, and that dripping water becomes a part of the soundtrack. Kind of like an adaptation. I'm sure you've seen that. That's an Academy nominee,
such a
where
great
the
film.
typity typity becomes part of the.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it
So good.
when some of the there
Ambient.
are when the music isn't exactly diegetic, but some elements of it are. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
I'm always excited. It's like Agatha all along. The opening of the show, Agatha's driving to work, humming her own theme song. I'm like, oh, I love it when they do that. I am such a mark for that shit. Anyway, here is how I would describe The Green Knight. I would describe it as an adaptation of no, I'm just kidding. We all know it's an adaptation of the Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. I would describe it as a movie that depicts the lengths a mom will go to get her fail son the hell out of her house. That was my big takeaway of the film, and that was the big joke that I left on your voicemail 8 months ago.
That is funny. And I don't recall that at all.
Yeah.
And thusly,
And you know what?
I definitely didn't listen and or read.
It's definitely a jokey way to sum up the film, but it's not inaccurate either.
No, well, and especially, I mean, I have a lot of different things to say about that. But what I will say,
I think David Lowery's got some interesting things to say about his relationship with his own mother.
yeah, yeah. Especially because Morgana Del Rey, Lana Del Rey, Morgan De Fey.
Morgana Le Fay, yeah.
I'm like, what the hell is her name?
I mean, they're not. I don't think they're
That's
named in the movies, but that's
no.
definitely who they are.
That's in the book. I don't. It's not his mother. It's his aunt.
Oh,
I.
Morgan Le Fay. Yeah, she's
She's
not
not
his
his
mom in
mother.
the book, and if I'm remembering right, I think she doesn't come into like the end. It's like, ha, it was me. It was Agatha all along, or
Is
something.
yeah. So well, I mean, she's always there. She's playing a part. Like she's.
Well, right, but she doesn't like reveal herself to the because she was always dicking around with
Oh,
Merlin and Arthur and stuff like
oh
that.
yeah. She's. I mean, because she's Arthur's sister. So
Right.
I mean, she's there. Like they combine characters in this
Yeah.
movie, obviously, which is fine. Everything's fine. I'm not, but like, but because they made her the mother figure and then all of that, oh boy, there's a lot of Oedipal interesting moments going
Yeah.
on that you're just like,
Yeah.
really?
Because
This?
one interpretation, I would say the literal text, but I mean, you could say, nah, come on. Almost everyone he meets on his adventure is his mom. I would make an argument for only a couple of people not being mom, and that would be Barry Cronenberg. What's his name? The scavenger who,
Keegan or Kagan or Conan
yeah,
or
yeah, him.
whatever.
Um, the guy who has sex with a grave in that one movie.
Again, he's never introduced himself to me, so I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
The rude son of a bitch.
God damn, seriously, Barry, right here. Let me know how
Right.
to pronounce your last name if you want me to do it right. That's all I'm asking.
Um.
But like
Uh.
Keegan, I think, or something.
So,
Yeah.
what's funny is one of my reads, one of my more reads to amuse myself is mom is frustrated with her fail son who is directionless and driftless and is living in her house and won't leave and won't do anything or make something of him. He's just, I'm not ready yet. Oh, artsy fartsy stuff. Like Dave,
Dev
no,
Patel?
Dev Patel. I'm like, it's not Dave Patel, Dev Patel.
Oh.
Thank you. Um,
And his
one of his
hair
first,
that you just want to, oh, put your hands
how the hell, you know what's not fair? In this movie, Dev Patel, he's introduced, Alicia Vikander just, dumps a bucket of water on his head. So he's introduced in the movie with bedhead and unkempt and dripping wet. And it's like, and he's like making it work. I mean, he may as well be like flipping his hair in
Oh
slow
yeah.
motion. And then he like cleans him, he brushes his hair and he combs his beard and he's exactly as hot. I'm like, that's not fair.
No,
It's not fair.
no,
You don't get to be hot both ways.
no.
You're the jerk. But his like his I the artsy fartsy elements, it's like, oh, did you notice that his some of his first lines are I'm not ready, and his last lines are I'm ready now. Ooh, artsy fartsy. It's like, yay, right?
Well, they're all repeated. Even the
Mhm.
lady in the lake, or Winifred, or whatever her name
Saint
is.
Winifred, who
Yeah.
is not it, uh that's a different thing. That's not in the book, is it?
No, that there's another
The
side
Lord and
questy
Lady
guy
at the castle, that's in the book.
that is in the book. Well, because that's the Green Knight,
Yeah,
the the Lord and
which
Lady of
I
it.
would argue is they're all
They're
one
all the Green
thing.
Knight. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all her.
Um,
Well, the thing is that's interesting is like, so in the book, the thing that
like my memory is most of like the Lord and Lady that's described, but the other shit is like, oh, and then he ran across some giants and he had some adventures over here, not important, moving on, because it's not really a long story. I think they
it's
gloss
not
over most of it.
it's not a long story, and there are little quests, but here's the thing about it, and here's the thing that I think that this movie misses. So I really liked the movie. I liked it very much watching it again. And the whole time that I found it very interesting watching it this time, listening to Alicia Vikander talk about why green, like that whole long
Her
monologue,
monologue towards it, yeah.
which is a beautiful monologue, in
Mhm.
fact, talking
Mhm.
about how green is both like, life and death and this and that and everything. And then I was like kind of laughing at it because I'm thinking green is novice. Like, when someone is wet
Mhm.
behind the
That wasn't
ears,
great.
like that
Yeah.
whole, like, you're green. You don't know what you're the green.
Sure.
You're like, it has, and I was laughing. I'm like, the one simple explanation. He's not a Knight. He even says that throughout, They're like, you're a knight. He's like, I'm not, because he's not.
And
He
she
hasn't.
confirms it. She tells him you're no knight.
You're no knight because
Yeah.
he failed the
Because he
chastity
fails
test. He
every
fails every test.
task that's
Well,
set
and
in
that's
front of
the
him, every
point of the
damn one.
entire story. He fails
Yeah.
until the very end. Well, and that because the entire story is based upon the fact that he is given the 5 tasks. The thing is, the story is written beautifully because it's a poem, and it's written. Here are the 5 tasks,
Yeah, they're
and
each like
here's
based on
how
a
he.
knightly
Yes,
virtue, right?
yes,
Yeah,
and
fails every single one.
because the Arthur's wife, when she said when he's getting his, when Dev is getting his you know chainmail, and he's getting his garb on, and she's like, the 5 points of the star, and the 5, and the this and the that, and you're like, ooh, okay, 5, so this movie is going to be set up in 5 installments. It's
Chapters kind of a
you're
thing.
getting
Yeah.
ready for a 5, and it's not. It's like it sets up things that just kind of go, and then it titles them The Journey Out, and in a kindness. And I'm like, maybe it's too on the nose, and maybe I'm too like, but like, for the, I get it's artsy fartsy, and I'll concede it is, but like, maybe name it The Virtue. Like, maybe if you're going to hone in on such specific things, because that's the thing, he fails his charity.
Yeah.
He fails the chastity.
Charity, chastity, whatever.
Courage, I think, is one of
Something,
them.
yeah.
And like, so I forget what the 5 are. I should have looked that up. But it was like, there, that's the thing, is like, he fails them until the very end, when he lets the Green Knight, when he's like, I'm ready. And then it's like, all right, now maybe you can start now, like, the journey. Now this
I
is now the real start.
love the ambiguity of that final
Oh,
line and how, oh, that makes me so happy that now off with your head. And that could totally mean either, not Wonder Woman, Alice in Wonderland, Queen of Hearts, off with your head. I'm gonna, decapitate you. Or, okay, you've learned your lesson. Now on your bike, off with you with your head
yeah, off
uh,
with your head.
on your, leave
Yeah.
with your head intact. I'm like,
Yep. Yeah. I
ooh,
love
oh,
it.
I love that so
I
much.
love it so much. I think it's very interesting. Um, um,
Which is not what happens in the story. My memory of the ending of the story is he wears the magic belt thing, which means he doesn't get decapitated, but that's the shameful thing. So he ends up just wearing that belt for the rest of his life to remind him of the shame, something like that.
um, yes,
For
he's
our listening audience, I read the poem back in high school, which was 3 decades ago. So my memory is a little sketchy on this one.
so he because he failed to give the kisses, like the wife,
The Lord and Lady thing,
the
right?
Lord and Lady thing, because he gives him pheasants, like, because the Lord goes out hunts,
Mm-hmm.
and then the lady is like, he's teaching her to read, or like there's something that they're doing together during the day, and I think it's like he's teaching her to read, like she's talking about books in the movie. She's like, I love books and this, but I think in the story they're spending time together, and he's like teaching her, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, and
I
she gives him kisses,
Yeah,
and he is supposed to give those kisses too, because he
because
gives him
that's what
that,
he received, so he's
because
supposed to
that's what
pass
he
that on,
receives,
right?
which
Yeah.
in the movie, that's the thing that's very interesting, because in the movie, Joel Edgerton leans down to kiss him, and he says, I think you owe me something, and he
Yeah.
kisses him,
Yeah.
which they didn't, it was not done well. That was the one
Yeah.
thing, that because they didn't really kiss,
Yeah, I don't think I think if I didn't have the background of having read the
it would have
story
been
and
a
had the
weird
general idea of what was going
moment.
on, I'd be like, I don't get what we're doing here.
Exactly. It's a weird thing that you're like, why is he kissing him? I don't know. Because he's like, I think you do know what you could give me. And you're like, It's a yeah, if you that one almost specifically stands out as a need to really know what that is,
Yeah.
or else it comes across real different.
Yeah. And also technically, don't I owe you a hand job?
Yeah, but did he not give himself that hand job? Like, did he not?
Hard to tell what was she just, holding on to his forearm or something? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, was
All
he
we know
not?
is he's no knight.
He is no Knight. He definitely didn't.
So do you think Barry, what's his face, the scavenger? So um
Yeah, let's talk about that.
so failson, who just is drifting through life, not making anything of himself, living, sleeping on his mom's couch or whatever, uh hanging out with his girlfriend, and staying out all night and getting into bar fights. He finally he goes to, cleans himself up quite well, and goes to the Christmas party at the round table. And Uncle Arthur is like, hey, nephew, Garwin. And I don't think anyone decided on exactly how his name is pronounced, because it's pronounced like three different ways throughout the film.
And there's no
There's no R in it.
R in it, right? There's not an R anywhere. Please continue.
David Lowery's like looking at the script supervisor and like, did he say Garwin? She goes, yeah. It's like, whatever.
Like
he,
so many
yeah,
I
he and
remember.
Guinevere are friggin' sick. They can pronounce names however they want. It's fine.
Yeah, I remember when I the first time I saw the movie, I was like, are they calling him Garwin? Is his name not Gwen?
Yeah.
I was
So
very
anyway, so he
confused.
goes to the Christmas party, and King Harris, no, Sean Harris, King Arthur, invites him. He's like, "Hey, I haven't, you're my sister's son, and I never got to know you, and you know, look at my complexion. I'm gonna keel over dead in like the next year. So, tell me about yourself. Tell me
Yeah,
a
because if we're
story."
related, I have lost all my color and I'm about to die.
Yeah. So, tell me a story so that I may know you. And Dev sits there, or Garwin sits there and goes like, I've literally never done anything. I have
Right.
no stories to tell. It's like, oh, wow. So Morgan Le Fay is like, okay, I got to get my son out of the house. He's driving me friggin' nuts. So she engineers the whole Green Knight thing. Green Knight stomps in. It's like, hey, um, anyone can take up we're gonna play a Christmas game. You get to make a move against me, and then I give you my axe, but you have to return it to me a year later, and I get to return whatever blow you gave me, whether it be a slap across the cheek or a boop on the nose.
Right.
So Garwin chops his damn head off.
Right. Okay, so that's the thing that kills me because I Arthur says to him, "Remember, it's only a game."
Mhm.
So Arthur knows, I think, what's up.
Yeah, he's been around. He's seen some shit.
And
Thanks to Morgan Le Fay.
when that's your sister, I think you know. But like, so Arthur's like,
You think
it's
Guinevere's
just
still stooping Lancelot?
not.
Not
What's
like
with
not as
not?
sick as she is.
Yeah,
Maybe she picked up an STD from Lancelot and gave it to Arthur.
I
And
know
they're
because
both
they ain't looking
dying.
so great.
Yeah.
But like, because
I
I
like
think
that
to
actor too who plays Guinevere. I forget who I've seen her in a bunch of stuff, but
yeah, she's an interesting
got a
woman,
great
but
look.
yeah, yes. She great for these type of characters.
I
Like
think
she
she was
really
in one
does.
of I think she was in like one of the Alien movies I just watched, like Prometheus or something.
Oh, was she?
I think
Mm.
so. I think I
Yeah, she
spotted her among the crew there. I think it's what my mind is telling me, or but anyway.
um because that's the thing that has always struck me as interesting, but that's also the reason that he's not a Knight is like he went for the death blow. And it's like, did you listen? Did you understand? Like whatever you give me, I will just return to you.
Right. Of course, the idea is like, well, if I chop his head off, he can't do
Then he
anything.
can't.
It's like,
Yes. So
Like,
like, but
see that guy over there? That's Merlin, the wizard. I know you've seen some stuff, man. I mean, come on. This guy is a walking, this is an ent. This is a
he's a
walking
rock,
tree man.
yeah.
Come
I
on,
think he's a
man. But, Garwin is a dipshit.
and that's the thing is like and he goes straight for the and I'm just like, wow, you dumbass.
And the
Like
pooch was screwed.
the pooch was screwed. And then he saddles up because in a year's
So a
time,
year later, and he uses that year to just bum drinks off of his deed. I was the guy who felled the Green Knight, and he just gets into bar. He does nothing for a year. This boy is such a disappointment to Mama. So he gets on his bike, or well, on a horse. Well,
on his
Mom gives him,
bike,
she gives him the magical girdle to tie around his waist. It's like, if you wear this, no harm will come to you. You will return home with your head held high, hopefully still attached to your neck. That this is kind of ambiguous. So he rides out, and he's on the path, and the kids are chasing after him. It's like, yay, you're gonna die. And what I think is
pause,
funny
go, go, go. What you think is
is
funny?
I'm looking at the castle town in the background, which is like 3 damn miles away. I'm like, these kids have been
I've
following
been
him for a
running.
long time. If they've been
You
following him for like a solid hour, that's like 3 or 4 miles away. How long have these kids been following him? I mean, I know they don't have the internet, but jeez.
and they're still yelling. And they're still like, yay, bye. And then there's like a specific, they're like, shit, we're done now.
They
Like, and
like
they're
find
like,
their
nope.
mark on the ground. They're like, all right,
All
we're
right, we're
going.
done. But like, I thought the same thing. I'm just like, they are far.
Yeah.
Those
So,
kids
so
are
the idea
definitely home
is,
past supper.
yeah, so he has to return the axe to the Green Chapel where the Green Knight is waiting for him on, Christmas Day. And it's 6 days. Head north for 6 days, you'll find it. Like,
I'll never
man.
find it. I would have started 2 weeks ago because, like, yeah.
Well, I mean, to his credit, he does set out more than 6 days before. He gives himself like let's see, he gets to Lord and Ladies, I think on the 21st or
21st is
2nd or
when he
something.
gets
He's there
there.
for a couple
Yeah.
of days.
Yeah. He gets there on
So he gave himself a
21st.
buffer, which is nice.
Yeah.
But what's hilarious is he sets out on the grand quest and immediately gets robbed, loses his horse, loses the axe, loses the magic girdle. And it's like,
Immediately.
immediately, first thing that happens, he completely screws the entire thing up. And you gotta imagine that Mama Morgan Le Fay is sitting there over her crystal ball or her bubbling cauldron going, son of a bitch. Well, I mean, son of mine.
Yeah. Right.
It's like, okay, god damn it. And so she's engineering all this shit to get him his stuff back, Saint Winifred, which I think was a neat inclusion. I didn't see that coming the first time I saw this movie. I'm like, that's a totally different thing, because Saint
Yeah.
Winifred was it's something like she was her husband chopped off her head because she wouldn't put out or something, and where her head land bubbled a spring of wishes or eternal youth or something. But
I forget what was, but yeah, it's a different story because in this one, it is that one would assume that it was Barry Keoghan's character or Keegan's character who came in and done the deed because
except that when he find she's skin and she's a skeleton by then. I thought the same thing because the
the
axe is
axe.
there. It's but I mean that was like literally
Oh,
the next day.
oh, okay. I
But then
guess that
again,
makes
magic.
sense
Who the hell
because
knows?
of the.
I have a feeling that's just a different thing. But
Okay, I thought about that because of the axe. But can we talk about how brilliant the scene with him is? Like him, the
which,
scavenger?
oh yeah,
Because Dev Patel is on a horse in the foreground, mind you. And it is a one shot. Dev Patel's in the foreground on a horse. And they're not trotting, they're walking, but it's still a horse. And I didn't time it, but it's at least like a 3-minute
did they
scene
have like a solid mile of dolly track or
of
something?
like Barry Keoghan is running around like he's walking, keeping up with this horse, but at times like going into the field to like grab things and like his maneuver and like keeping up with the horse. And like maybe he did ADR and everything
Mhm.
because like he was not winded and whatnot, but like it was incredible ADR
Mhm.
because he keeps up with what he looks like he's doing. But like I watched it and I'm like, I remember thinking the first time, I'm like, he's not missing a step. Like this man is keeping up with a horse. And this isn't bad. He's not a tall man. It just in general, that he's not like just, height doesn't lie. I'm not a tall woman. Like it's just insane. I'm like, and I'm watching, I'm like, how though? Because you're still in the foreground, like in you're in the background. No, the horse in the foreground. You're in the aft, so you have to be fast. It was really brilliant. I'm like, you go, sir. You cardio.
It's a really well done, well blocked scene.
Yes.
And yeah, I was thinking about that, but I was also thinking about how much damn dolly track they laid for this shot,
Oh
or if there's some other trickery going on. Like I
no,
don't
it's got to be
I think that's
Dolly.
outside. I mean, they might
It
be
is,
replacing the background, but I don't think they like put the
but
horse
the
on the treadmill or anything.
real.
Yeah. Um, but
But yeah,
yeah,
I'm sorry. So Winifred, we're there.
Winifred, yeah.
Is that
So
that girl that's in Star Wars, the Han Solo one?
oh, she's yeah, she plays Enfys Nest, Sally Kellerman. Oh, she's not Sally Kellerman. Aaron Kellerman?
Erin Kellyman.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sally Kellerman, completely different person. No less cool, but different person. Yeah, that's her. She
Okay.
was also in she was the lead terrorist kid in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, one of
Oh,
the Marvel TV
right. Yes,
shows.
yes, yes, yes. Yes.
Yeah, I've seen her in some
I like
stuff.
her face. Very pretty.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
she's got a face. I like people with faces.
Yeah, it's easy. It makes it easier to look at them.
Yeah, yeah.
Faceless people, hard to look at, man. Whew.
So do you just stare at the
I
neck
just, yeah,
stump?
I don't know where to focus. All right. Anyways, continue.
It's
I
like,
I
hey
interrupted the
man, my
flow.
eyes are where?
I don't know.
Looking
I
around.
don't know. I've been trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
HR keeps calling me
So
in, and I'm like, I swear I don't know.
I mean, Sally Keller no, Saint Winifred, so he after Barry
Barry.
Eternals robs him, um he finds a house to take shelter in, and the ghost of Saint Winifred shows up and it's like, hey, my husband lopped off my head and dumped it in a pond. Would you mind going in and getting it? And one great touch is when she's standing across the room from him, and then she approaches him, but she just like glides at him, and he goes. I love the fact that he looks down at her feet, just like what in the hell's going on there? Just a great touch. I love it. So they go out in the lane. She's like, "Yeah, my head's in there. Could you go get it for me?" And not a night Dev or not a night Garwin. He's like, if I go down there and get your head, what will you give me? And she looks at him, is like, why would you ask that? Why would you ever ask that?
But
And you
even
you
before that,
feel the frustration of mom in that. It's like, come on, man, I'm laying this stuff out on a silver platter from you, and you keep screwing it up.
because even before that, when she floats to him and he
Mhm.
like looks down, he reaches out to touch her, which is a very like I think human reaction. You're like, oh my
Yeah, it's
God,
like
what is
Egon Spangler poking a guy to see if he's real or
yeah.
not.
And he reaches out to touch her and she
Don't
goes,
touch me.
don't touch me. You should know a knight should know better.
Yeah.
She's like, do not touch me. A knight should know better. So like she's
It's like, I
constantly like,
get
what
it.
the
I'm a
hell,
ghost,
dude?
and that's a human reaction, but you're also supposed to be a knight, man, and
A knight should know
you're
better.
failing every test here. And
What are
how do
you
you not
giving me?
know that those mushrooms are not for eating? They don't even look good. They're all small and gray and
Dude,
slimy.
dude, they look like the hallucination you're about. Like they look fake. They look like they're not supposed to be like, yeah.
Yeah.
They look
Those
like a warning sign.
those
Yeah.
are those mushrooms are giving off the biggest F off vibes I've ever seen a mushroom give. And I know you're hungry, man, but come on, do you have no wilderness survival skills at all? Like when he's in the cave, I don't think he actually gets that fire started, does he? I don't think he actually starts
I
the
don't
fire.
think he does. I don't.
And then he was like, I can't do it.
He's like,
He's
"Ah, I'm just gonna go to sleep.
such a
Never
failure.
mind. Never
Um,
mind.
and then let's see, he finds the giants, and the first thing is like, "Hey, give me a ride!" It's like, and they turn around and look at him like, "Who the fuck is this guy? Do I look like a medieval Uber to you?
Yep. Yep. And then they howl with
Carry
the
me.
like, yeah.
It would be really convenient for me."
It was, where are you going? Can I just hop on your shoulders? And they look at him like, what? Yeah.
Yeah. So, we were talking a little bit earlier about the Lord and Lady's castle, where her
Yes.
big "the green" monologue. I found it interesting that the color scheme that they're giving the Lord and Lady is blue in this scene. And I don't know enough about color theory to really analyze that and what that might mean. Very strong, deliberate colors used in this film.
Yes. Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
Particularly with his garish yellow cape cloak
Overcoat and
kind of
everything.
thing
Yeah.
that dulls throughout the adventure. Yeah, there, but I don't know enough about color theory to really
One would imagine that
guess.
the yellow is more for like fear,
Mm,
and that's why it dulls
yeah,
because as he, gets
gains more courage. Yeah.
gains more courage.
Hmm.
Um, and then like blue, blue is either regal or calming or, something like that. But that's doesn't really fit for, you know, I mean, he's taking a respite there, but it's not exactly a calming place. But yeah, no, color does play a very big role.
I also like how Alicia Vikander as the girlfriend character, not the lady character. I love the way she says "lady." The way she
Yeah.
draws out that vowel, "I'd be
She's
your
like,
lady."
and like she always looks off like she's seeing it too. She's like, "Your lady." Like she never looks at him. She's always like wistfully off and like she sees it off in the distance. And it's so sad though. Like that his like it was such an interesting so when he finally makes it to the green canite the chapel and he gets there, there's a moment that he like basically sees his future, but you as the audience member
Or at least
maybe
as he imagines it,
as
which
he
is set up
imagines it.
earlier in the film.
Yes,
That
yes.
that that really cool shot where it spins 360 and shows him dead if he doesn't do
If
something,
he
and then
doesn't,
spins
yes.
back around. Love that. I
Yeah.
could just imagine well, not a PA, but the various grips and hands and stuff. Camera spins around. Okay, Dave, get the hell out of there. Put the skeleton down. Redress some of the set before
Yeah.
it comes back around.
Yeah, it's nice. And then and which is great because talk about the sound, like with that 360 revolve, like because it's like doom music that turns into, the wilderness sounds and just birds are
The
singing
green
and
taking
it's
over
just
the stuff.
yeah, the earth. It's just
Mhm.
turns into what it is, like what she says is, and then it's like, nope, rewind, come back to, yeah, I'm gonna make this happen. So yeah, it is something that is set up earlier in the film that he kind of, visualizes like if I don't do
If I
something,
continue on
if I
my
continue
current
on
course,
that, yeah,
this is what's going to
this is
happen.
what's going to happen. And it's such an interesting course
It's
that he
it's like one of the first bits of introspection the character actually
actually has.
demonstrates. He's like, man, if I don't do this, I'm going to rely on my magical girdle throughout my entire life. I'm going to be wearing this while I'm having sex with my girlfriend, and that's
Yeah.
just embarrassing. I'm going to wear this. I'm going to use this as a crutch my entire life until my head falls off.
Yeah.
until my entire family leaves me, either because they're dead or they get sick of my crap. And
I'll never
yeah,
be happy. There's nothing that's gonna make like this just
yeah.
this just sucks. And like, yeah.
He's like,
And then
and
he
he takes it off.
and
He
he
says,
takes it off.
okay, now I'm ready to ostensibly, my read is face life without mommy.
Yeah, I whatever is about to happen, I don't know what it is. Like, and maybe he even realizes like I have no idea what's about to happen. Maybe you are gonna chop my head off. Maybe you're not, and maybe it's gonna come back on. Yours did. Maybe that's what the game is. Like maybe, like, and that's I think that like, and he, you know, there's no telling. Maybe he's like, and I think that that's the thing that he's like, because I know that if I leave down that path is not something that I'm really excited about. So yeah, it's
Yeah, because
very
he initially does well, or his vision is him just chickening out and running away.
right.
So
And finding his horse.
and finding his
Yay!
horse. Oh, yeah, there it is. So
Which should have told you right away that you're like, this must be a dream. His horse is
mhm.
here. That would never really happen.
And
But yeah,
even mom as the fox, but by the end of the movie, she's like, I think she completely loses faith in him. She's like, just you know what, you're you're a fail son, but you're my fail son. Just go home. You know what? Just go home. I can't deal with any more disappointment from you, honestly. Um, so I don't know if I like this movie. Um, I like a lot about this movie,
hmm
and I've seen it twice this year, and it's a fairly long movie. It's a little over
it's a
two
little over
hours,
2 hours. Yeah,
and neither time did I have any trouble sitting through it.
sure.
Um, but I don't know if it's a movie that I genuinely like really enjoy. Like, oh, I like this movie. I
Right.
more like admire the movie and like a lot about it than I do actually like the movie, if that makes sense.
Yes. No, fair enough. What is your take on, because I do want to ask this question really quick. Um, so Alicia Vikander plays double duty.
I still need to watch that Tomb Raider movie she did. Anyway.
Oh, interesting. She plays double duty in this film as the girlfriend who is, uh uh Esther or whatever her name is, and then the
Estelle?
lady
Essel?
Essel.
Essel.
Essel. So plays her
Mm-hmm.
and then plays the lady. And then the queen plays double duty because she plays the blindfolded spirit, right? In the manor, who is not who isn't actually there, but is there to
Mm-hmm.
watch over. Right? That's the same actress, right?
Pretty sure, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is.
I didn't check in the credits, but
I
yeah.
didn't either, but I'm nearly positive that it is. There's parts of me that nearly wish that there was more double casting due to the fact, like, if you're going to do the women, then like maybe they did the women because it's, like you were saying, it's about the mother, like it's a very mother story. So like there's only so many women in his life or whatnot. And,
Like maybe Sean Harris should have played both the king and the lord, and maybe what's her
well,
name? Whoever plays Morgan Le Fay
Winifred.
could have played the Green Knight also.
Well, I wouldn't
Although
have
Ralph
minded.
Ineson can't
See,
beat him.
well, here's the thing. Ralph Ineson, chef's kiss.
I
And
think they cast him as Galactus in the upcoming Fantastic Four movie. That's going to be really interesting.
the problem is like I love Joel Edgerton. I love Sean Harris.
Hmm.
I love all these men. I wouldn't want to get rid of any of them.
Yeah.
However, I I I do there is there is 2 points here. There is a not a theory, that's not the word I'm looking for. There is something that could have been interesting to have Arthur also plead the Green Knight. It would have been interesting at the beginning, only because Arthur wants just as much as, he wants him to prove himself as well.
Yeah.
Because you don't really see a lot of the like, it would take a moment to realize that it was Arthur until the end when you actually interact with him more. Because at the beginning, the voice is distorted and it comes through the Queen, and
Mhm.
you don't see him as much. So you might not even get that it is Arthur at first until, or the same actor. Again, Ralph would have to go bye-bye, or he would play both again, or whoever it was. But whoever it was, it would have, like, Arthur playing the Green Knight might be a very interesting take. Or if you wanted it to be a little bit more like the book, then the Lord would be playing the Green Knight. That could be interesting.
Mhm.
I also think there might be something very interesting, just if you wanted to keep it with all the women playing double duty, just use the same actress as Lady Winifred, who then later becomes his queen in his memory.
Mhm.
Because if Lady Winifred didn't exist really, or he created her in his mind, then use that same mind woman's creation.
Yeah.
It's still just what's in your mind. She had red hair, like, I think, like, his future bride and his "this is what happens if I run away" has red hair. I
Mhm.
mean, use Erin Kellyman, like, she's beautiful. Use her again. Do that double duty. That would also kind of almost mean something in a weird little way. And then at least it would keep with the women. Because, like, the one thing about the dual casting is, like, you either needed one more or it was just like two makes it odd. Because I could
Like,
understand.
it's so you forgot to cast this part. It's like, oh shoot,
Yeah,
we forgot to cast. Is Alicia still here? Go get her.
like, that's the thing. Like, I could, like, one, I could get behind if it was just the lady, because then I could see the whole, like, you're confused because she kind of looks like your woman. Like, if it was just that, and the blindfolded woman was a completely different person, like, it's like decorating. Even numbers don't work. It's like telling jokes. You got it. It's like the third one. You had to have three for it to be like, okay, now it was a choice.
Mhm.
Two is a mistake.
All
This is
right.
my okay. That was
Last
it.
thing
That
I
was
want to
it.
point out is something that I just found real funny. I don't know if that it was intentional or not, but when failson grabs Winifred's skull from the pond, when he brings it back up, he's got his thumb jammed right in the eye socket like he's holding a bowling ball.
But I love how he comes
And,
out of the
and the
water
jaw
like,
comes off,
ah, boom, boom. Like, I'm like,
jaw
what?
falls off, thumbs
Yeah,
in the eye socket. He's like, ah, that's fine. Let's put that
he's
back. She's dead. Doesn't matter. It's like, I am dead. I'm a ghost, but treat the skull with a little more respect.
yeah, a
Get your
little.
damn thumb out of my eye socket.
Yeah, no, I thought, yeah, there's a little bit of that there too. I thought the same thing. It was very, all right, dude. Yeah, it was a little overtly triumphantly like, yeah,
It's
onto
like
a
he's
rock.
spiking a football.
He really,
Oh.
that is literally that is definitely what it seems like. But all right. Well, I just don't think that you're gonna have to watch this movie again this year. So you're
Okay.
all good. But thus ends Artsy Fartsy month. It was a good month, I think, Here we go. And thus ends 2024. But movie mandates, it will continue. It will continue next year, in fact, in January with a second breakfast. Ooh. Andrew, what is your second breakfast mandated movie?
Okay,
And
so
what is
our
second breakfast?
so our idea for second breakfast is basically double dipping a one of our themes where we mandated a movie that ended up not being very good, or not being what we wanted. So I'm gonna take a second breakfast shot at should have seen this by now, in which I mandated Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, which was bad. So So for second breakfast, another movie that I should have seen by now, I mandate we watch The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
I'm so excited. With Dolly,
Yeah,
I am
which is like literally
so
the only thing
excited.
I know about it. So
I
I don't
I'm
know if
so
it's a
excited.
musical. It's got to have a song in it, right? It's like
It's a
if it
musical.
does at least do like the 9 to 5 thing where it has a title song by Dolly, I'll be happy. But is it a musical?
It is.
Oh, sweet. Wait,
And
isn't Burt Reynolds in it?
maybe
Does he sing? Oh, well, I mean, hey, he did All Dogs Go to Heaven. You
he
can't keep
did.
a good dog down or whatever it is. Oh, geez,
And
Ken
Ken
Page just
Page.
died.
Oh my God, yes.
Who did the voice of the gator? Let's make music together.
Yeah.
Let's make sweet harmony.
So good.
Um, Also the Oogie Boogie in Nightmare Before Christmas, and I
Oogie
think
boogie.
didn't he
Make
do
it
the shiny crab in Moana too?
oogie boogie. I think he may have. He was also the voice that he is or was until, very recently the voice of the Muni, which is the outdoor theater here in St. Louis. He always does the
Oh, really?
announcements there.
Huh.
Yeah, he's very big in here in St. Louis. So it was a very hard day for us
Yeah.
here in St. Louis, but no, that's very excited. I'm really excited to watch this. I too, this is one of those that's on my list and has always been like, when am I ever going to watch this? I'm very excited. I'm very excited. I'm very excited, and you all should be excited too because Dolly is and I yeah, watch it. Everyone's look. Hey,
He's
go
still
look.
alive. Stay that way, Dolly.
Go look in the description and check out where the Best Little Whorehouse in Texas is currently streaming or where it's available to rent, and you're gonna watch it. And awesome. And so until then, you can watch Movie Mandates on YouTube, or you can listen to it in the podcast form on iTunes. So yeah, awesome. And hey, if you enjoyed the show and you want us to help, and you want us to help, no, we're not gonna. You're not. We're no, and you want to
We're
help
not
us.
lifting a finger. This is
There you
all
go.
on you.
Or yeah, that's right. You want to help us. That's
Can we
better. Okay.
ride on your shoulders?
So if you want to help us to do things and stuff like reach more people, engagement is key. So, do all the things that you're supposed to do on the YouTubes and the iTunes, doing the rating and the reviewing and the liking and the listening and the starring and the bell ringings and subscribing. Yes, thank you. That's all. And if there's anything else that is positive, only the positive, like the thumb raisings, thank you. We love that. So thank you. With that, I am Kelly. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm Pimento Livia. Just the one out.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Andrew Eisen.
And we hope you enjoyed this episode of Movie Mandates, and we will be back soon with another mandated movie. Bye, everyone.
Bye.